Good morning. I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your Master Grief Coach and Master Grief Coach trainer. Somebody asked me yesterday because they had seen the interviews I did with the Debbie Mallison medium who connects with our loved ones on the other side. And I think she asked a question that comes to many. And that's why I wanted to address it in a live. And I would really, really love to have your thoughts and understandings and beliefs about this as well. She asked if our loved ones were going to die, if it was their time, why do we try to keep them alive? And I think that's a fair question. I wonder what your beliefs are. As I think back, now my son's been dead more than 10 years. But it's an interesting thing because even as I read her message, I found myself recalling many of the conversations I had with people at Mike's funeral. I remember telling people again and again that I don't believe we can die unless it's our time. This does not for one moment mean that I was ready for him to die. I wasn't. And I bet you weren't either. I also remember sitting with a counselor and him asking me and talking about that same thing. So why do we make the effort? Why do we make the effort? Whether the person we love died of suicide, cancer, a car accident, maybe their heart just stopped beating. Why do we fight so hard to keep people we love alive, here with us? Here's my belief. This is, okay, just let me, my belief is that we are here to grow, to learn about love in so many ways, to teach and to learn. And that when we are complete with what we intended to do during this life experience, we step through that doorway to the other side. Now, for me, this is a plan, a contract, if you will, that we have with our loved ones. It's on a soul level. Our human level, our human experience is very, very different, isn't it? We may have a sense of what our purpose is, what we are here to learn, to understand, to teach to others, and perhaps we have an understanding or a belief of what that is, but we can't know for sure, can we? So, what if part of our learning to expand in love, part of our learning to understand in patience and compassion, or so many other things, every other thing, is working to stay alive, happy, to find joy? What if part of our intended divine plan, contract, if you will, is to work with these people we love? I think about so many people whose lives have been much more extended than we imagined or expected. For instance, there's somebody who comes to mind to me that many, many years ago was sent home to die because the doctor said, "You're riddled with cancer." This person, along with their family members, prayed because they're deeply faithful people. And she believed her life was not supposed to be over. When she went for a follow-up, however many months down the road, I don't know, she was healthy again. Is that because of prayer? I don't know. I can't say. What I believe is that all of those people who were working on her behalf were learning, were teaching, were reaching out to one another in connection and support. And she didn't die until many years later of something very different. What if the efforts that we expend to keep someone alive, whether it's fighting addiction, or as I say, a physical disease, or trying to change the rules of the road so people don't drive when they're under the influence, what if all of those efforts are in because we are learning and growing? My son died of suicide. Many people talk about and believe that you can only end your life if you're mentally ill. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I don't know that my son was mentally ill. I don't think he was, but he could have been. So when I talk to people and they're saying that they're fighting the stigma of mental illness so that there will be better treatment, so that we release the stigma and we care with compassion and caring, think about the lives that are extended, saved. Why do we make the effort to save someone if they can only die when it's their time? I believe we make the effort because we don't know when it's their time or ours. I believe we make the effort. We work together. We support and care about because it's part of our human experience for our soul to learn, working in tandem. I hear and read people say all the time that I'm a soul having a human experience, and I believe that's true. My soul knows what my plan is. My human me, the human me, I'm learning. I'm figuring it out as I go. I don't believe we only have one potential exit point. I think about our lifetime as a highway. You hear me talk about paths all the time. So I think about if I'm walking a wonderful path, a trail, there are often, usually, many other offshoots going different ways, maybe making the trail longer or shorter. I know which one is mine, but I have opportunities to take others. In my belief and my understanding, our human experience is very similar. We have options. Not all of those exits or trailings are for us. But I do believe we have options between this one, and this one. 2, 5, 7. I don't know how many there are, but I don't believe there's only one. Because I believe there is a combination of free will and divine planning. I don't know where that is. Do you? I don't know where one begins and the other ends. I'd love to know what you think. Okay, I've been on here longer than I expected, but I wanted to address this, and I really strongly invite your understanding, your belief, your experience. What makes sense to you? I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your Master Grief Coach and Master Grief Coach Trainer. Today I wish you a day of gentle peace and healing, and know, really, really know how much you matter. Namaste.